going on, everybody? Gleez here, and by popular demand, I'm going to go over how to play Ninjutsu Scorpion. And I'm just going to do this right off the cuff. I'm just going to go through and show you and tell you everything that I know about the character. I figured that I don't really need to write notes or do anything because I use the character so much, and plus I'm a teacher by trade. If I can teach the immune system and how to deadlift properly, I probably can teach you how to play Scorpion. Alright, so the first thing we're going to talk about are Scorpion's normals. And his best normals are his down 4. It's got super long range from the beginning of the match. If the character does any type of move, you will be able to hit them, especially if they just try to block. Down 4 does make contact. If they just stand there, it typically doesn't. But if someone is blocking low, blocking standing, bang, down 4 usually will hit at the beginning of the match. It also leaves them in a stagger. Alright, so you see it has a lot of hit advantage here. Alright, as he's staggered, walking back. You can follow this up with a run-in. You can run in and block. You can run in and use forward 2. That's his next normal that we're going to talk about, which is a launcher. Alright, you can even run in and then throw, which is something that I typically will do. You can run in and go low into combo, but we'll get to that later. Alright, so down 4 leads to a lot of things. Alright, certain people will know this and they'll adjust to it, and one of the ways that they'll adjust is after a down 4, they'll use an armored move. And when you try to go in for an armor move, the timing does have to be very strict on their part, but if they're good at it, they can get the armor move out. They will possibly land you in full combo. If you're playing against Kotal Khan, he's a character that can just immediately out of armor knock you into a 34, 32% combo right off of that. So be aware of that and know who you're playing against. Certain characters have a lower risk with their armor. Their armor isn't as great. Someone like Sonya, you're only going to get 15%. Alright, if someone armors you, if Kotal Khan armors you, you're going to wind up getting 32, 34% damage, depending on where you are on the screen. Alright, so that's the down 4. The forward 2, alright, is very good. It's a double hitting, armor breaking overhead. The first hit's mid, the second hit is overhead. The big thing about the forward 2 is use it from distance. So you want to really get a feel for how far away from your opponent you can be and still land the forward 2. Alright, so that's big. That's something you really want to know. If you have the opponent block, so if the opponent's blocking, alright, it's minus 11. So since it's minus 11, if I'm right up on top of my opponent, he possibly could be able to punish me with something. He definitely will be able to poke me. If I'm from a distance, somewhere out here, alright, I would be able to land, and I also shave some frames off of the end of the block advantage. Alright, so I don't know exactly what it is. It's probably like minus 7, minus 8, and there's distance, so there's a lot more pushback. Alright, so that's really what you want. You want to be out here in this range. You don't want to use this right up on top of your opponent. That's going to bring us to our next overhead. When you are on top of your opponent, the move that you would want to do is forward 4. Alright, this is going to be the overhead that you want to do when you're in close range. The startup is long. It is reactable. Most people, when they play against Scorpion, they're going to block low. The reason why they're going to block low is because the back 3 is faster, and this is the next normal that we're going to go over. Both the forward 4 and the back 3 do lead to combo. They also have strings based off of them as well. Alright, so just to show you what I'm talking about, the forward 4, you can go forward 4-2, and that's a combo. Alright, it's also safe on block. Alright, the back 3 does lead to combo, which isn't safe on block against some of the cast, which is back 3, 2, forward 2. Alright, that isn't safe against some of the cast. Characters that have fast advancing normals and special moves, such as Sub-Zero Slide, Reptile Slide, his dash, those types of moves can punish that, but it does create a lot of pushback, as you see where I'm standing in relation to Kotal Khan. So when you do link these into a longer combo, you would link them both into Spear. And the way you want to do that is using a bar of meter. You really don't want to throw out a regular spear. It creates a huge gap. And also, well, the other one has a gap as well. But the gap's way bigger when you use the regular spear. And what I mean by gap, if I put Kotal Khan on a reversal, so I'm going to put him reversal on, and we're going to go overhead smash. Where's that? There we go. Alright, notice there's a gap. So he can armor, and then he can punish me. Alright, same with the forward 4. So if I go forward 4, alright, there's a huge gap. He's able to punish me. Now, there still is a gap with the enhanced. For them to execute it, the frames of input are a little bit less. So it's a little bit harder for them to get the armor out. So that's one advantage to it. But the bigger advantage to it is that it's safe on block. And I'm going to show you what that means here in the move list. So we're going to go to special moves. We're going to try to find the spear here. Where are we at? Spear. All right, back, forward, square, or 1. All right, it's minus 23 on block. Meaning that the opponent, as long as they have a move that comes out in faster than 23 frames, is going to be able to punish you, and that's anyone. Anyone has that. You notice the enhanced spear is minus 5 on block. All right, so that's going to save you from a full combo punish if you were to have your opponent block. So if the opponent blocks it, they can't punish you with a full combo. All right, so I'm going to make sure that I turn the reversal off just so I can show you what I'm talking about. So that's what it would look like, and then I can immediately block. All right, so what are we going to look at next? The next thing we're going to look at is his neutral jump punch. All right, you can see that he uses the swords. It's very long, extending. It's very good. All right, it's good in combo as well. His back 2 has to be used from range. This is like minus, I don't even know, like minus 16, I think. Let me take a look. His back 2 is minus 14. All right, so minus 14, it is punishable by most of the cast. All right, so that means that I really need to anticipate that my opponent is going to jump or they're going to try to run in or push buttons or something before I just throw this out there. I also want to make sure that I'm at a good distance. The further I am away and have this connect, the safer it's going to be. If I'm right here, I'm dead in the water. All right, so I never want to use back 2 when I'm this close to my opponent. The thing that works best with back 2 is anticipating a jump. So if I think that my opponent's going to jump or hit some type of button, or I think that, let's say for instance, Katana, if I think I can catch her in her startup of her fan from about this distance, and I think that they're going to do an instant air fan, or I think that they're going to do a regular standing fan, sometimes I'll check her with back 2. And the reason why I do that is because it leads to full combo, and oftentimes it'll land while she's in her startup animation for her fan, or while she jumps back in the air, or jumps straight up to do her instant air fan. So it does have its place. It's not a great anti-air on reaction. It's more of an anti-air of anticipation. When you try to react to it, unless someone jumps from a really far distance, so if someone is jumping in from, say, like this far away, I can back up and then I can trip guard them, anti-air them that way, where they would have to whiff the jump by a lot. But if we're in like normal jump range and someone tries to jump in, the way that it moves forward, it doesn't really work out all that well. But there is a better option for an anti-air. This is the next normal that we're going to take a look at. And it's standing 3. All right, the standing 3, Kodokan is one of the best jump-ins. And this standing 3 just annihilates it. You can link it into full combo also. All right, if you cancel into the teleport. All right, so the standing 3 is what I like to use. You also can use the neutral jump punch. All right, so those are the things that I use as far as anti-airing goes. It also does cross-ups, so you can check it. It does bang, do cross-ups. Let me get a good timed cross-up here so you can see. All right, so see, it does do cross-ups too if someone wants to cross you up. As soon as you as soon as you hit the 3, the standing 3, you can teleport immediately and then get right into your combo. So as far as anti-airs go, I use that. I also use the down 2. The down 2 works really well. It works okay on cross-ups. Sometimes it doesn't come out. So you'd say sometimes it doesn't come out real well. But the down 2 is pretty good. All right, especially for regular jump-ins, the down 2 works real well, but my favorite is the standing 3, again, because you can go right into full combo. All right, so next we're going to talk about the Vortex. First, we're going to turn him off. Just going to go to Custom. If you're not familiar with the practice settings in there, definitely get familiar with all this stuff, because it's very important to practicing and learning different characters and new characters. Also, labbing against characters. So a lot of times I use practice mode so I can practice against characters that I face. All right, that's what I use practice mode mostly for. So we're going to take a look at the Vortex. And the idea with the Vortex is to keep your opponent standing. It negates a wake-up opportunity for your opponent, which with Ninjutsu isn't that big of a deal because his back 4 is a double hitting low and his forward 2 is a double hitting overhead. And both of those bust armor. So what I want to do here before we actually get into the Vortex, I'm going to No, off. I'm going to put him on wake up, and we're going to go overhead smash. Alright, so what I mean by armor breaking, it's 2 hits in succession. Alright, now if I try to do one hit that's slow, hold on. If I try to do a hit that's slow, notice he eats the first hit, and then he lands me in full combo. Because these hits are in fast succession, I'm able to break his armor with a well-timed, I guess you could call it wake-up pressure. Alright, or Oki. Alright, that's basically what that is. Now, what this sets up, it sets up the forward 2 as well. You can go into full combo. Alright, but what it also sets up is having your opponent delay their wake-up and not waking up with an armor move, and it allows you then to throw a lot on wake up. I wind up throwing a lot on wake up just because so many people wake up against Scorpion just holding block because they're afraid of this and they're afraid of the back 4. Alright, so they become afraid of that, and you condition them to stay in block, whether it's on the ground or standing up. Most people will block low, and then they'll stand up on reaction to that. Alright, so that's what people will typically do. And again, is blocking low against Scorpion. Alright, so the last 2 things we're going to talk about are the Vortex as well as his combos. And his combos, I'm going to have like a combo montage at the end, and I'm just going to have the inputs down below in the description. Now, when you're Scorpion, the Vortex, again, like I said, it negates a wake-up situation for your opponent. So it doesn't allow them to armor, basically. It negates them of a free armor opportunity. And the reason why you really want to work the Vortex is because it allows to continually pressure your opponent. So the way that the Vortex works, any combo that you do, you're going to end in teleport. And the teleport has a huge stun on it. Alright, so it forces your opponent to have to block. So they're going to have to block standing or block low. Alright, typically, like I said before, a person's going to block low against Scorpion and react to the overhead, or what's called fuzzy guard. They'll block low for the amount of time that the startup of back 3 is, and then they just let go of down, and then they'll stand up. So you may not even see them block low, but you'll notice that when you're doing this at the end of your teleport, they're also blocking that and this at the same time. Alright, so just know that some people have the ability, they're good enough, they can fuzzy guard. So they'll hold down for the startup frames for the back 3, and then just let go of it when they know that it's not coming. So what it looks like if you were to do full combo. So let's say this is the combo we're doing. End and teleport. Alright, we can do the overhead, double overhead if we think someone's going to armor. We can go forward 4 into enhanced spear and then start the combo again. Or just a combo again, I should say. It's a different combo. But you can go back into combo that way. You can go back into combo with the back 3 into the enhanced spear. You can throw as well. So if I do this, I can throw. If I do this, I can jump over, but my opponent right now, for whatever reason, it makes it real difficult when you play the computer to get the cross-up jump. But in most instances, if anyone hits any type of button or shortens that animation right there, you're going to actually wind up on the other side of them, and you can cross-up jump, which is a little bit risky. Some characters have really good down 1s or down 3s, or if you're Ermac, a down 4, and you can then take Scorpion into a full combo punish. One thing that's really good about Scorpion is if you see your opponent doing those things. So let's say you end here and you typically are jumping over your opponent and going in for pressure here. Alright, if that's what you're choosing to do, and they continually are anti-airing you with something, some type of anti-air. Typically the jump 3 does not get anti-aired. Depends on the character. The only character that I know that can do it somewhat consistently is Ermac's down 4. If I cross up and jump 3. So if someone is continually trying to anti-air you, you now have them conditioned to anti-air you after your teleport crossover jump. Because of that, what you can then do at that point is do a jump 3. And then jump 3 leads back into combo if you're able to link it off of teleport, or cancel your jump 3 off of teleport. So that's something you can keep in mind. That's a little bit more advanced. It really comes down to controlling space with Ninjutsu and adjusting to your opponent. Also, keeping yourself safe. so many people with Scorpion, they teleport like way too much. The only time I ever teleport is when I do this and I cancel it. All right, because I want to get in. Or if I am in a string and it lands, my teleport is a combo extender. All right, so that's the only way that I really use teleport with Scorpion. I can also do it on reaction. So if someone's spamming off projectiles and they're zoning real well and I'm ducking and, you know, I'm trying to jock for space here and trying to get in, I can't get in, right? So then I see that, let's say it's Reptile, he starts to have a force ball, so I see the force ball animation. Bang, I jump in the air and I EX it. All right, now I go into full combo. All right, that's the way you really want to play Scorpion. All this garbage here, like just teleporting all over the place and like ending strings that are on block on teleport, that's not what you want to do. You're really going to pay big dividends when you play somebody that's good. It's a bad habit to get into. So do not start just randomly teleporting, you know, during matches. It's something you definitely do not want to do. So let's see, is there anything that I forgot? All right, so as far as your jump attacks, when you're jumping forward, you want to use jump 3 for your kick. And when you are jumping in with a punch, you want to use jump 1. And I'm going to show you why. If you look at the square or 1, all right, that's what we refer to as 1. It's an 8-frame startup versus 2, which is an 11-frame startup. The jump 3, which is probably the best jump 3 or jump kick in the game, is a 6-frame startup versus 4 or circle is a 9-frame startup. So for your kick, you want to use 3, and for your punch, you want to use square when you're jumping at your opponent. Yes, there is something else. We're going to look at the corner. All right, a good player, when they have a bar to break, they're in combo. As soon as you teleport like that, that's when they're going to break the combo. Why would they do that? They're going to wait for you to go on the other side. They know that Scorpion's combos are typically teleport dependent. All right, so we're going to go over a few combos that you can do in the corner that are going to keep you facing the corner without your back to the corner. So if your opponent decides that they want to break, they're going to have to break with their back in the corner. When you have someone in the corner, always be aware of their bars. I'm aware of their bars the whole match, but particularly with Scorpion in the corner, because you never want to be teleporting and then getting broken in the corner. Now I'm in a real bad spot. All right, so always keep that in mind. It's something that you definitely should keep in mind and understand. So we're going to get into the combos. If you have any questions about Scorpion Ninjutsu or Scorpion in general or another character, whatever you got questions about, leave them down in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to answer them. Enjoy the combos. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and it was somewhat informative.